Everybody has their own set of personal struggles and things that are just naturally draining for them. While we all have struggles and difficulties in life, these are often different for each person. What a Sigma male finds challenging, other personality types may find simple and easy. It's important to recognize these struggles and realize where certain types might feel overwhelmed, knowing these struggles can help us to overcome or find means of lessening the frustrations we feel in these areas of our lives. For Sigma males, there are undoubtedly many unique struggles they face because they are different from most people. This rarity often brings struggles and difficulties that are different. While it might not upset the Sigma to feel different, it can cause struggles throughout their lives. Most of the challenges that come with being a Sigma male are ones that they actually enjoy taking on and overcoming. But there are some things that get old on them. Let's look at the top 8 struggles that Sigma males face in life. 1. Being misconstrued. Because of the way their brains function, Sigma men frequently feel misinterpreted by others. It is difficult for them to articulate or explain who they are so that others may comprehend them, which causes difficulties in their daily lives. Because most people aren't able to follow the many different paths that a Sigma male's thought process can take, it can be difficult for them to fully understand what they are thinking or feeling when they want to express it. However, their strong intuition helps them come up with solutions and answers to problems. They never really feel like they can communicate their feelings and ideas in relationships in a way that others can fully comprehend. Because they aren't typically overtly expressive, Sigma guys might be perceived as being frigid. In reality, though, they are typically incredibly sensitive, loyal, and open-minded, which is why they are so misunderstood. 2. Doubt. Because Sigma guys are frequently cynical individuals, it can be difficult for them to fully open up to or trust most people when they get to know them. Sigma males frequently struggle with being skeptical of other people, especially when they are attempting to form romantic connections. Although they want to feel close to people, they rarely find themselves willing to be vulnerable. They frequently question the motives of those around them and can be afraid that someone is not being entirely honest. This skeptical nature is a struggle because it can prevent Sigma from ever feeling truly connected to others. Being really connected to someone, even while they make every effort to find other methods. Although it might be challenging to do this if you don't actually trust them. Sigma male struggles with their skepticism since they have this back and forth throughout their lives. 3. Separation. Male Sigmas tend to be more introverted and become overwhelmed by excessive social interaction. Although it's important for them to acknowledge their need for solitude, this does not mean that it can't cause problems. They frequently find themselves alone, which can be a dangerous place to fall into, because it makes them feel less dependent on others and more likely to alienate themselves. They can go days or even weeks without speaking to anyone. But this also makes them feel distant from the people who matter to them. Although Sigma men may pretend not to need human interaction, in reality, they do need it. And they really do need to feel connected to people. Although they may not enjoy crowds or being around certain people who drain them, they do need to have someone close by with whom they can share things. They need at least one person with whom they can feel a connection, who will listen to their thoughts and show support even when they are feeling a little exhausted themselves. They feel that this kind of link is vital. Yet their need for solitude can drive them to isolate themselves for extended periods of time. This distance can drive the Sigma away from people and occasionally damage the relationships that are very important to them. 4. Analyzing things too much. Male Sigmas have hyperactive minds that drive them to constantly consider and analyze everything. Even when they are certain of something, they are undoubtedly capable of making important decisions and figuring out how to proceed without letting their over-analytical tendencies get in the way. Where Sigmas struggle with this overanalyzing process is more with people and their emotions. Male Sigmas will overanalyze emotions and inner feelings even when they shouldn't, because their minds are constantly searching for logical and practical solutions. Even when they should be more focused on emotions and forming connections with those around them. For Sigma, this just isn't natural, so they dive more into analysis than they do emotional expression. When they are feeling something, they might try to find more reasonable ways of processing those feelings. They want to be logical with pretty much everything they do. 5. The need for success pressure. Although Sigma guys tend to be perfectionists, which can have advantages, there are drawbacks as well. They want to ensure that everything is completed to their extremely high standards. This can undoubtedly put a lot of pressure on him. because he always wants to make sure that whatever they do in life is successful. Sigmas frequently meet these high standards and goals because of this. But it can also be very taxing on them, because Sigma strives to appear strong and as if they aren't struggling. Most people are unaware of the amount of internal pressure Sigma endures. They believe that one should never show signs of weakness, and Sigma is frequently great at overcoming these difficulties by problem solving and getting the job done. That doesn't mean they won't eventually find it taxing. 6. Perfectionism. Sigmas are often perfectionists, which can be overwhelming at times. They struggle with never feeling like anything they do is good enough. They constantly see mistakes and ways they could improve. This perfectionist nature makes Sigmas have truly amazing standards, but it can also be a struggle for them throughout life. It is difficult when they never feel truly satisfied with their abilities or the things they have accomplished. This is something that weighs heavily on the Sigma's heart and makes them come down rather hard on themselves. Sigma continuously suffers with this, but they can work hard to overcome it and discover ways to become more open. They might be becoming better at continually evaluating their jobs, which can get tiresome after a while. 7. Indelibility. Going with the flow or being spontaneous may be difficult for Sigma men. Although they can adjust to changes, they really don't enjoy it when plans alter. Instead, they like things done a specific way and have a more definite commitment to their schedule. Because Sigma guys value preparedness above all else. It strains them when plans change at the last minute and having to go with the flow frequently seems silly. This does stem from their perfectionist nature, as they are constantly worried about knowing that they are doing things perfectly in life. They don't take on challenges or tasks without knowing they can take the time to prepare and not walk into the situation blindly. And really isn't something they want to deal with. It is much more comforting when they have things planned out, so they can be sure they are doing everything correctly. 8. Discovering a purpose. Some Sigma men struggle from an early age to discover a sense of meaning and purpose in their life. This puts a lot of pressure on the Sigma, especially when they feel like they aren't really making any progress in the right direction. He genuinely wants to be someone who can make a difference in the world around them. But this desire can be difficult for them to find. But in the end, he believes that finding meaning in their life is what matters most. If you enjoy the video, subscribe our channel. Thank you.